So we'll be talking about our Excel tables or the functions, or at least ma-encourage ko lang kayo to use it. So we have several benefits of using the tables. So sorry if I'm looking up kasi nasa taas yung monitor ko ng PowerPoint, so kaya ako tumitingala. Pero anyway, so tables are named data and can be referred to and modified as a whole. So this is just off the top of my head. Ito yung sa experience ko. Um, Tables can be named kasi, so sa previous work ko actually, before I went back to accounting, a lot of it was about linking yung data from the database into an Excel spreadsheet. So we have, by naming the data, mas madali for Excel to identify instead of using the usual R1C1 naming or yung A1, A2 or B1, B2, yung ganon. Mas madali kung named na siya. So, especially sa tables, kasi isang group of data na agad yung mananame mo ng isang name, which is yung table name niya. And then, moving forward, you can use, Excel can actually understand that when you refer to that table number, you're referring to the actual set of data. So, this is very useful, especially if you move forward using yung index and matching na formulas, which is one of the key formulas na sinasabi nila for a person to say na meron siyang advanced Excel knowledge, kailangan marunong siya ng index and matching. So, kaya I opted na we talk about tables now before we move forward with index and matching, which is basically a more complex VLOOKUP function. Pero we'll talk about that in our next sessions. So the second point naman is it minimizes keystrokes because of its predictive nature. Okay? Dahil ang table is hindi ko mo na kailangan i-copy and paste yung formulas mo from the first line up to the end of the table. So the table understands, or Excel understands, that you are keying in formulas into a table and it assumes that you want the same formula to apply dun sa rest ng data mo. So, yun yung isang mas madali sa tables kasi hindi ka magkakamali with leaving out several lines na hindi mo na copy and paste or hindi mo na kailangan i-copy and paste for any additional data. Also, the third point, tables actually unlock data expressions sa summaries, katulad ng totals, mayroon siyang filters, mayroon siyang slicer within the mismong table na. So, minsan kasi, especially sa filters, although sobrang dali lang naman to actually activate yung filter kasi ano lang yon sa Windows, Alt-DFF. Yan. Try niyo yan sa bahay. Pindot yung Alt-DFF. Yun. Ganun ko siya nilalaro kapag naghanap ako ng data. So, yun yung sabihin lang nun is filter. So, ma-filter siya. Pero kasi, if you, for example, you delete a certain row and you leave a space, may space na blank, si Excel na li-leave out ngayon sa filtering. So, mas madali and mas sigurado ka na walang ma-leave out na data if you use the table instead of yung actual set of data. I will also demonstrate that later sa worksheet natin. And the fourth one is tables actually ensure data quality upon refresh. Ito yung sinasabi ko na kapag, especially when working on pivot tables, which I have actually talked about before, meron tayong YouTube video dyan, meron tayong, you can actually search sa YouTube natin, sa channel natin, meron na tayong topic on pivot tables. Pero, one thing about pivot tables, which I recently discovered then, is minsan kasi, 'di ba? Or actually, when we select data for pivot tables, you have to manually select the data. So, ang lalabas doon when you click and drag or you press shift down, shift right ng data mo, lalabas doon yung specific cells. Kunyari $A$1, which is specific cell, up to kung ano yung last na data mo. Pero kapag nag-add ka ng additional lines, your pivot table doesn't necessarily understand that you want those additional lines included. So, yun yung kainaman when you use tables and you use a pivot table that refers to a table, hindi mo na siya kailangang i-change data source. Kasi para ma-refresh mo siya, i-change mo yung data source. Pero kung naka-rename naka-name yung table mo, okay na. The moment na refresh mo yung pivot table, because the pivot table was linked to the table and hindi dun sa specific cells, ma-refresh na yung data. And this is actually useful as well, especially kapag nagma-macro. Kasi, yung naming convention, hindi mo na kailangan gumamit ng complex na formula to select all the non-blank data. Okay? Isa-select niya na lang yung mismong table. And you can actually tell the macro to create a sheet and then put the data there, name that, turn that data into a table, rename that table, and then so and so forth. So, mas madali na yung reference. Anyway, to demonstrate kung ano yung benefits nito, so think of me as someone na parang, kunyari, salesman ako ng Excel and I'm convincing you to explore using tables kasi some of you may also come in and join na parang, kailangan pa ba talaga malaman yan? Or, and to be honest, I survived naman my first few years sa accounting without actually using tables na. Pero it's really something that we can talk about para naman may bago tayong kaalaman, di ba? Or may bago tayong tools in our arsenal. Anyway, sa first part muna tayo, which is tables are named data and can be referred to as a whole. Let's go to our spreadsheet. Okay, so this is our Excel spreadsheet. Meron tayong data. So, for me, ginaman ko ng sample data. Kunyari, you are monitoring the productivity of several teams. So, meron tayong 5 teams, A, B, C, D, and E. And then, ito yung date, or sa end of day nila, ito yung date. Sa end of shift nila, so January 1, 2, and 3. And then, we have the third column, which is the number of journal entries na ginawa nila or tapos na nila. And ito yung journal entries na ginagawa pa lang nila. Kunyari, productivity to ng isang team. So, pwede mo rin, you can look at it like sales. Kunyari, ito yung inventory na na-sold, and then ito yung inventory na hindi pa na-sell out. So, ganyan natin siya i-approach. Isa sa mga common na pinapagawa sa akin actually ng clients or ng friends and dati kong bosses and stuff is trackers for productivity. So, usually we think na complex siya or maraming kailangan gawin, pero actually it's very easy. You just have to be creative then in expressing or in showing na kung ano yung data mo and how you want it to appear. So anyway, tables are named data and can be referred to and modified as a whole. So when we have this data, raw data, hindi pa siya naka-table format, it's really very easy to turn this into a table. And the way to do that is you have to look for, actually sa home lang siya, sa home tab lang, lalabas na yung format as table. So if you have the format as table na tool there, you can actually choose from these templates kung ano yung, how do you want it to appear. So, yung Excel mismo is nag-select na siya ng A1 to D16 and yan yung default na table niya. So, you can actually change this up kung hindi mo gustong, kung may mga gusto ka i-leave out or kung meron siya na miss. However, you have to realize that Excel identifies yung end ng column kapag natapos na yung pag meron ng space and then yung end ng row kapag meron ng space. Okay? So, this is, meron dito checkbox, sabi niya my table has headers, is just saying na pag naka-check yan, yung first line, yung first row mo, yun yung headers or yung identifiers ng mga succeeding columns. So, it applies dito sa data natin kasi meron tayong headers, yung team, end of day, JE done, and JE in process are all headers of the data na succeeding data natin. So, we leave it as check. Ngayon, kung wala naman, kung random date, yung data mo is wala siyang headers, you leave it unchecked. Kasi nag-iiba yung treatment ng table kapag hindi siya naka-check. So, hindi niya ina-assume na header yon. So, ibig sabihin kapag merong sums, merong totals, isasama niya yung first line. Okay? Kasi kapag check natin yan, i-leave out niya sa totals yung first line. Obviously, kasi header yon. And it also affects down the line kapag minodify mo siya into a pivot table or kapag minodify mo siya into a chart, yung same headers na yan will affect yung behavior ng chart natin. So, I will click OK and automatically, Excel will turn my data into a table. Ayan. So, ayan na siya. Ayan. So, si Excel, identify niya na meron tayong team, merong end of day, JE done, and JE in process. So, ito na siya. Okay? And now, meron na siyang name. So, by default, niname niya siya as table 3. So, nag-name siya ng table 3 kasi meron ako dito sa summary, meron akong demo na table dyan. So, that's why nag-default siya sa table 3. Pero, usually, table 1 ang magiging default niyan. So, table 1 yung default name mo. To change it up, para i-rename siya, you can actually just select itong table 3 and just rename it. Kunyari, ang ilalagay ko dito is productivity. And I press enter. Yan. Yan na yung bagong name ng table. And dito sa upper left portion natin, sa may formula bar, you can actually drop down and select. Lalabas dyan yung options ng mga tables mo. And ang lalabas dyan is productivity na. So, yun ang option na yan, lalabas na siya. So, if I click it here and I click productivity, ayan, so productivity yung lumabas dyan, yung dyan sa upper left portion, nakita natin na si Excel, sinelect niya na lahat ng data. It left out, however, yung first line natin, kasi header yun. So, again, i-demo ko, I will click productivity here. Ayan, sinelect niya yung data, pero it left out yung first line because that is a header. So, headers yun, so hindi siya kasama. So, the beauty of this is, hindi mo na kailangan mag-select ng cells. Isi-select na automatically ni Excel yung buong table for you. Okay? Now, yun yung first natin na benefit. So, move on muna tayo dun sa second. So, ang second nating benefit is that tables minimize keystrokes because of its predictive nature. So, yun yung second natin na benefit. So, for example, ako, I want to know kung ano yung process, percentage process na ng team. I will just put it here. I will say something like total JE. Kunyari, ito yung total per team na kailangan nilang matapos. You see, nagkaroon na ng formatting or gumaya na dun sa anyo or sa shading or sa fill nung mga previous columns yung column E. Okay? So, just to make it better looking, ako ang personally, isa sa mga pet peeve ko yung meron siyang lines. So, tatanggalin lang natin yung tanggalin natin grid lines dito. Wait lang View. If you click view, may lalabas dyan na grid lines check. Ayan. If you uncheck this, actually, matatanggal yung guides na gray. So, naiwan lang yung table ko. So, para mas makita ninyo. So, ayan. So, total JE column na siya. And naka-ready na siya na i-format. So, if I key in a formula here, instead of equals, gagamitan ko siya ng equals C2 plus D2, which is yung default natin ginagawa. I can actually just click in yung columns natin and pag table format siya, imbes na cell name yung inalalagay niya, actually ang pinapertain niya or tingnan niyo yung formula nakalagay diyan is at JE done. So it's actually processing yung formula na itong column na to. So ito yung iti-treat ko sa column na ito. Hindi na siya dun sa specific cell. That's why you don't need to copy and paste. So kung gusto mo lang yung totals, i-add ko lang. So, ito, plus ito. And I will click enter. And Excel will populate the whole table na or the whole column with that sum. So, ito na yung nag-a-apply na formula hanggang sa dulo. So, imagine especially if you have so many rows of data, hindi mo na siya kailangan i-control C, control shift down, control V. So, hindi mo na kailangan gawin yung keystrokes na yun. That's why using tables actually minimizes the keystrokes that we need. And if I want to use this table to show the percent output ng teams, kunyari merong incentive ka na yung team na pinakamabilis matapos, meron siyang bonus. So, I will key in here percent process. And do the same thing. So, ngayon, para malaman ko yung percent process na nung team, I will say JE done over total JE. So, total done divided by the total na dapat matapos, and I will click in enter, meron na siyang agad percentage. So, ito na yon. Ngayon, I can actually format it and gawin natin siya percentage para lang medyo mas kaaya-aya sa paningin. Yan. So, gawin natin yan. And then, I can double-click here para ma-pull down siya. So, again, if you're not using a table, ewan ko kung na-experience na to, pero kung accountant kayo or report analyst kayo, probably na-experience nyo na yun. Yung pa naka-gray, tapos pag double click mo, gray sila lahat. Tapos reformat mo ulit. So, hindi mo kailangan problemahin kapag table kasi it retains the actual fill format nung row. So, another prick. So, anyway, yan yung second natin. It minimizes keystrokes because of its predictive nature. Now, moving on to sa third benefit natin, okay? Parang salesman talaga. Nagbebenta ako ng tables. Okay. Sa third naman natin, tables actually unlock data expressions and summaries, such as totals, filters, and the slicer. Ang totals natin, actually, from here, pwede ka na mag-insert ng total mo dito. So, just click on yung table na tab, para mag-open yung options mo sa table mo. Again, ito yung table name mo. And then, these are all added functions. So, at any point, you want to change the appearance of your table, you can select here sa right portion. Yan, kung IBM ka, syempre ganyan yung mga kulay yan sa IBM, lahat ng report ganyan eh. Or kung hindi naman, pwedeng neutral lang. So yan. Nandito yan sa right. Ngayon, ito naman, meron tayong checkboxes dito. This is an option if you want to show yung total row. Pag may total row, ito total niya yung row, mayroon siyang total row dito, and ito yung grand total niya. So, in-add niya lahat ng process na yan. So, nagkaroon tayo ng total row. So, yun yung thing. I can uncheck that kasi wala namang sense yan na i-add ko lahat ng percentages kasi it's not like importante yan sa akin. So, you can actually have the totals, and ang pinaka madali is meron tayong naka-filter na agad yung data natin. Kasi we said na naka-header siya. So, meron na agad siyang filter dito. And if I uncheck yung filter button, mawawala ito. Mawawala yung drop down. You can filter it. If I check this, you can actually filter out yung process mo by percentages. And kung gusto mo team A lang, pwede mong i-select dito, team A lang. Kasi meron na siyang filter button. Ngayon, ito yung part na hindi ko masyado nagpagkikita sa mga reports ng iba kasi probably hindi pa ninyo nagagamit or hindi siya usually ginagamit. Isa sa mga pinaka nakakatuwa na design elements ng Excel sa tables is the slicer. So, if I click in here, insert slicer, yan. So, yan. If I click in insert slicer, meron siyang ditong choices. So, it will you can determine kung anong column yung gusto mo lagyan na slicer. So, for example, gusto mong easier ma-access or easier ma-filter out yung data mo. Kunyari, I want to see yung different teams. Instead of isa-isa siya kung i-filter, if I click OK, magkakaroon ka ng additional box dito. You can format it freely. Ito mismong slicer, meron siya formats. Dahil gusto ko lang pareho siya ng color, i-click ko to. So, para naka-grayscale din siya. This actually is a way for me to filter it out easier. Madali na siya. So, dahil team ito, pwede ko i-click yung A, automatically filter out niya na. In one click, hindi mo na kailangan i-click down, select A, ano nyo yun. Lalo kung marami kayong data, kunyari per manager, ilagay mo na dito. So, kung ako yung manager A, I will just click A, I will just click B, and so forth, diba? And automatically, in just one click, lumalabas na yung gusto kong data. Dahil nasa slice nga yung data na kailangan ko lang. You can even have to show all the data, i-click nyo lang tong filter na may X or clear filter or Alt-C. Lalabas na yung lahat ng data nyo. Ayan. So, balik na siya. So, makiklear out yung filter. If you want multiple options, you can select Alt-S or itong multi-select. Yung tabi nung filter, nung clear filter natin. Ito, ayan. And you can select multiple. Kunyari, B and D. Ayan. So, tinanggal ko yung B and D. So, ang naiwan na naka-gray is A, C, and E. So, ganun siya. So, kung gusto nyo ng multiple, pwede yun. Ayan, i-clear ulit natin filter. So, ito yung lahat ng data natin. One thing na maganda pa sa slicer is you can create multiples. So, if, for example, I click the table, I want to show yung productivity niya naman per day. I will just click insert slicer. Again, Excel will show me another option. Paano ko naman siya gusto i-slice? I want to slice it by the end of day. So, I click OK. Yan, it created another slicer option here. I'll just put it here. And then, kulayan ko siya ng medyo iba naman. Yan. Yan. Diba? Medyo iba pareho. If I click in yung, kunyari gusto ko yung productivity niya ng January 1, it will just show me January 1. So, ang daling i-modify ng data dahil meron ka slicer. So, yan. So isa yun sa reasons kung bakit very attractive, especially for reports analysts, yung slicer na data. Okay? Sa akin, personally, hindi masyado siyang ginagamit sa totoo lang kung accounting or other than like performance or metrics. Pero kung reports analyst ka, sa sales, or even sa like classroom grades and whatever, madali siya, di ba? Isang click lang lalabas na agad yung data. So, yun yung slicer. Yun yung isa pang function ng tables na na-unlock kapag ginamitan natin siya ng table instead of just using the data and copying and pasting yung formulas. So, the fourth naman na benefit natin is dito na tayo sa it ensures data quality upon refresh. So, merong asterisk yan, nilagay ko yung data addition, macros, and pivot table refresh. So, one key thing kasi, kapag meron kang table, anytime, kunyari, mag-add ako ng data naman for January 4, meron nang pumasok na data. So, meron akong A, B, C, D, E. So, pumasok na yung data for January 4 nung productivity ng teams. Wait lang guys ha, i-populate ko lang. So, January 4, oh, joke lang. Joke lang. Yan. Delete natin to. Yan. Okay. Ngayon, for example, nadagdagan sila ng isa. Plus 1. Oops. Okay. Para lang 1 plus ito. Okay. Kunyari lang, para just to make sure na medyo may sense na may data natin. Kaya nagdagan sila ng isa. Lahat sila may ginawang tikiting isa pa. Okay. Pinapopulate ko lang to guys, hindi to kasama sa actual tutorial. Total JE minus done. Yan. Yan. Kunyari, ito. Okay. So, dahil lampas siya sa maximum, zero lang natin. Okay. For example, nagdagdag ka ng data. It's so easy, di ba? Nag-type in lang ako ng additional row and then kinilala niya na agad yon as additional data. And if I key in here, if I select yung productivity na table, makikita nyo, kasama na sa sinelect yung rows 17 to 21, which is additional data na dinagdag ko. And if you look at here, look at our slicer here, yung end of day, lumabas na agad yung January 4. Without me doing anything, without me using additional steps. And it's the same thing for pivot tables as well. Kasi kapag dito tayo na-generate ng table, na pivot table, if I click here, summarize with pivot table. Ayan. Ayan. So, if I select yung create a pivot table, yung table or range natin, instead of using A1 to ano ba to? E or E tas yung last row. Nakalagay lang dito yung table, productivity na siya. So, kunyari, generate natin to, existing workbook, ilalagay ko na lang siya dito sa bandang baba. Para hindi na tayo gagawa ng bagong tab. Okay. Lagay ko siya dito sa 25. I-click OK. Ayan. And then, I will generate a pivot table. So, to show my data, syempre gusto ko na ang mangyari ay yung end of day, yun ang columns natin. So, per day lalabas yung productivity and your team will be the rows. And then yung percentage process is the values. Kunyari ganito, I will just change this sum of process. Gagawin ko lang siyang percentages. Ayan. So, kunyari, finormat ko siya. Ayan na, percentages na siya, no? Kunyari, ito yung pivot table. Kapag nag-add ako ng additional data dito, if I key in, kunyari, letter F, may bagong team na sumali. So, nagkaroon ng reorg suddenly, di ba? January 4, tapos syempre wala pa silang nagagawa kasi bago silang team. out of the 5 sample GEs nila. So, may 0%. So, syempre, hindi automatically na-populate yung pivot table natin. Pero sa pivot table natin, I'll just click anywhere and then refresh this. So, I can just click sa analyze and then refresh the data. Ayun, lumabas na yung F. Which is something you cannot do kapag you make a pivot table na nag-select ka manually ng cells. Kasi if in that case, you have to go in and click yung change data source, yung tabi na refresh, and then click in mo pa to and update mo yung selection mo. Pero kapag naka-table na siya, yung table name na lang, hindi mo na siya kailangan galawin. Lalabas na siya. And even though yung when we select productivity and leave out yung headers, makikita nyo na the treatment of the pivot table is sinama niya pa rin yung headers, di ba? Kasi when we selected yung pivot table field natin, when we selected the data, actually, dito sa right side, lumabas naman siya, di ba? Yung end of day, lumabas naman yung sum of percent process, hindi naman siya naiiwan. So yan, okay na siya. Pag may pivot table ka na, pwede ka na maggawa ng chart. So, I will just click here, pivot table analyze. Okay, and I will click pivot chart. When I click pivot chart, may lalabas dyan. Okay, and then this is something I can modify kung ano yung chart na pwedeng lumabas. Ngayon, ito, bonus. Sabi ni Charmaine Buyagan, paano po kapag naka-table na siya and then ibabalik natin sa dati? That is very critical. Kasi alam nyo kung bakit? Di ba? If you stayed up to this part of the program, mababalikan nyo. Kasi I meant to say this, pero nakalimutan ko kanina. I will give you a quick solution. Ngayon, reality check tayo. Just like everything na pinapromise sa mundo, hindi lahat perfect. Okay? Bakit naman hindi tayo gagamit ng table? Hindi naman tayo gagamit ng table if we want to share the file. I'm not saying i-email. Yun ay kapag sa review tab, meron ditong review, and then meron tayong option dito to share the file. It actually works especially kapag naka-network kayo. Here in my version of Excel, wala siya. Meron doon yung sharing. Pag naka-share yung workbook, pwedeng several persons can access the file at the same time. It's especially helpful kapag meron kayong team and a lot of people will edit the file. Okay? Kapag naka-share siya ng ganon, hindi pwedeng meron kang table. Okay? I'll repeat. Hindi pwedeng meron kang table. Ang lalabas na error is hindi pwedeng i-share yung file kapag may table. So, going back to the question ni Charmaine. Tama ba? Charmaine. Question ni Charmaine, paano siya i-convert back into a data grid na hindi siya table? So, madali lang yan. I will just click here. I will just select our table, and then I will click convert to range. Ayan. So, sa table name, sa tabi, summarize with pivot table, remove duplicate sa baba, convert to range. If I click convert to range, sasabi magkakaroon kayo ng option. Sa dialog box, sabi niya, do you want to convert the table to a normal range? I will just click yes. Yan. So, kinlik ko siya, and you can see here, wala na yung productivity na table. So, nawala rin yung slicer, pero na-retain yung pivot table. Okay? So, wala na yung table. Ito ay isa ng normal range. Ayan. So, kung makikita nyo dito, yung formula natin, raw data, C2 over raw data, E2. So, hindi na siya naka-table, hindi na JE done over total JE. Ang lumalabas na is yung cell niya. So, yun. So, bago mo i-share yung file, make sure na kung may mga tables, i-convert mo lang siya to range para maging table siya. Kaya lang mawawala yung slicer, mawawala yung automatic filter. Pero, ganun lang siya kadali. So, ngayon, range na siya ng data, hindi na siya table. Pero, kung makikita nyo, yung pivot table natin, intact naman siya. So, hindi na wala yung pivot table natin. Pero, again, pag kinlik ko tong pivot table na to, and I go to pivot table analyze, if I look at the data source, is actually selecting. Ang sineselect niya na, hindi na yung productivity table natin. Okay? Hindi na yun ang lalabas kasi, wait lang guys. Ayan. So, yung selection natin is yung range na. Raw data A1 to F22. Hindi na siya productivity table. So, ganun ang mangyayari. So, kapag nag-add ako ng other lines, again, I would have to manually change yung data source natin. Hindi na katulad kanina na yung table lang yung pinapertain niya. So, yun. Thank you kay Charmaine sa napakagandang question. So, na wrap up natin ang maayos yung discussion natin. Okay? So, yun. So, again, thank you for joining me and have a great day. God bless you guys and be a better person today than you were yesterday. Have a great day and thank you for watching. Hi, Resty Tangi. Nakahabol. Hello. You're welcome. Bye-bye.